Hello everyone, today we're releasing version 3.4.1 of New Frontier Craft. This update features many bug fixes and only some small additions and changes, as it is a minor update. I'll first go over the additions and changes, as I feel they are the most pertinent to any update. We've added a new creative survival toggle via the combination of F3 plus N. So, if you're in a world that has cheats enabled, which is created through creating a world of creative mode, you can now toggle between survival and creative by hitting that key combination. The F3 menu now displays temperature and humidity information. This is the internal stats that the game uses to determine what biome you're currently in. It's not useful for anything really, but we thought it was neat to put in there. And finally, of the additions to the update, that we've added several new translations. We've added DRS's Polish translation, Zvadvich's Serbian, Belarusian, and Bulgarian translations, and Zvadvich's and Mikola's Ukrainian translation. Moving swiftly along from that, we've made a couple minor changes. Sneaking on crops now works like it does in Modern, where it will not trample crops. So if you don't want to stick a bunch of fences underneath your crops, even though I highly still recommend that, you have another alternative. Rails now placed in the direction the player is facing. And finally, snowballs no longer drop when broken by natural sources, such as flowing water. Not quite sure why that happened, but it doesn't do that anymore. And finally, there's a long list of bug fixes. We fixed it so you don't get the technical piston head block when breaking a piston with a magnetic pickaxe. We fixed it so leaves no longer glow when using the fancy leaf setting. We've made some fixes to TNT ghost entities, so hopefully you see less of them while playing in multiplayer. Snow layers will now drop the proper number of snowballs. Dungeon chests will no longer give iron swords with negative durability. The 2D texture rendering should now work properly from the front view third person, so things like the fire particles and being lit on fire should show correctly. The magnet sword now does its proper amount of damage. It previously did half of what it was supposed to. That's been fixed. The Blood Moon button in creative options can no longer be clicked while in peaceful mode, as clicking this in version 3.4 would do nothing, as the Blood Moon cannot be triggered during peaceful mode. We fixed it so HUD tooltips no longer constantly update every time the durability of a tool updates. The red tint is no longer attempted to be rendered in the inventory, meaning held items don't get wonky Blood Moon lighting. Beds can no longer be placed in invalid locations at the top of the world. In previous updates, this would place the bed, but it wouldn't actually parse and would refuse to place, but the item would still be used up. This no longer occurs. The sun will no longer appear during rain while the Blood Moon is active. This was a weird quirk with a rendering. Redstone, reeds, cake, and repeaters placed on top of the world no longer crash the game. Ladders now respect shift right clicking. We fixed it so you can't craft an infinite number of windows using windows just by slapping in wooden planks. You can't use windows to craft windows anymore. Tile entities like signs are now properly colored during the Blood Moon. And finally, dyed text on signs now respects brightness, meaning they no longer glow in the dark. And that'll be all for version 3.4.1. This will likely be the last of the version 3.4 updates, as we fixed most bugs that we can think of that are high priority at the moment. We'll likely hold off any other bug fixes or additions until version 3.5, which will be our main big Forge and mod loader merge into New Frontier Craft. The Forge merge especially will give us all the space we need for new blocks added to the game, as we are running out of space within the vanilla terrain.png file. We're starting to have to do a lot of fancy tricks to keep things fitting. And yeah, that's pretty much all. Thanks for watching, everyone.